It always has to happen.
Doing messy.
Why do these always start like this?
Well, this one's allowed to start like this.
I guess so. You guys always make it hard for me because it's always hard to find the noise profile spot for this podcast. But anyways, welcome one and all, ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls.
and everything in between.
What's in between?
Eldritch gods.
Eldritch gods. So yeah, welcome to, I guess the official name of this now is the podcast behind the podcast.
I think it should be the awkward podcast behind the podcast.
I like Untitled Podcast Electric Boogaloo number 2.
I mean, I kind of do too, but doesn't that
That's
have
kinda
some negative
taken.
connotations to
Kind
it?
of taken. Anyways, yeah, welcome to the podcast where we talk about random stuff. Today, we have a guest.
Hello.
Her
Like on the
name
main-
is Kai Kai.
Hello.
Yeah, so she's the other half of Robin Cat.
That's my.
I've summoned Exodia. So here we go.
You're halfway there.
Doesn't Exodia have 5 pieces?
Arms, legs,
Torso,
torso, and
head.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
5.
5.
I don't know. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, that's 6.
Well,
That's
we,
6
we
pieces.
don't have a family yet, so those will be the other little pieces.
Also, I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I play Magic the Gathering, so I'd have to summon the big furry monster, which has
One
4?
piece.
big furry monster. Yeah. No, he has a couple pieces. No, there's the BFG.
Yeah, that's the big furry monster. This is the BFM. It's an unhinged card from Unglued.
Yeah.
It's mono black and it's one card and it has like
What's the one with multiple pieces?
you're thinking Coldra,
No, I'm not thinking of Cauldron.
where you
That's
have to get
another
the
one.
helm.
We lost him, love.
the
They got
shield.
into magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the
Do I need to
podcast
look
behind
this
the
up?
podcast.
Yes, look this
about magic.
No, this is not about
That game.
This is about whatever the heck we're talking about.
I don't know
So,
what we're talking about.
You guys were just talking about hydrogen stuff.
Yeah, Wolf was over here like putting metal to water, and I half expected a hydrogen reaction to occur because Wolf is actually a mad scientist
At heart.
at heart.
Did you guys hear that CERN's about to fire up the hydrogen collider again?
Oh boy, they're gonna microwave my ramen finally.
Well,
It's just one giant microwave.
when is that supposed to go off?
I don't know exactly when, but it's gonna be soon. I think next year,
Interesting.
springtime. I think maybe.
Right during pollen season, when it's like one particle is gonna get in that collider and boom, everything's gonna turn into a dandelion.
So it's gonna be like that planet from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Everything on this planet is corn.
Oh, this is a nice place. How long does this last? 72 hours. Nope.
2 pieces.
Yeah. No. There's like, is it only 2 pieces? Yeah, that guy. What's his name?
Big furry monster, the BFM.
Oh.
13 black mana.
So I guess it is Coldra. That's the closest to
Yeah,
Exodia.
Coldra it has 3 pieces. You have to have the helm, the shield and sword.
But then in the newest set, Modern Horizons 2, there's Coldra Complete.
Yeah, but that's just 1 piece.
That's
Yeah.
boring.
I don't know. It's a pretty sweet card.
It actually is pretty good.
So, Kai, you're the most interesting thing that's happened around here in months.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Hello. Really?
Tell us about yourself. Your hopes, your dreams, your social security number.
By the way, this is the fun podcast. The podcast you're on just a little while ago is kind of the one where you have to be proper and prim and all that stuff.
No, we can.
What?
What?
Proper, prim?
I mean, we have a subject and we have to stick to the subject.
This has
Yeah.
no subject.
This one's more like,
This is like if you feel the urge to crawl on the ceiling, go ahead.
please don't do that. My landlord would kick me out.
Too late.
Who said I'm not already on the ceiling?
Who punched?
I did not punch the microphone.
How come she said that? She's right in front of me, but I still looked up on the ceiling like the freaking scene from Alien.
Because you're.
Because
I
I'm
don't
Kai
know.
Kai.
No, I'm tired.
You are tired. You're always tired.
No, I'm abnormally tired.
Here, have some caffeine.
I already had a Mountain Dew Rise,
Okay.
and normally that gets me going.
How much? That's only got 100 milligrams of caffeine in it, dude.
That's
No.
okay.
The Mountain Dew Rise has 198 milligrams.
I was
2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine.
This has 70 milligrams. Drink this.
But I just said the other one had
This
more.
is just a podcast about Boom forcing Wolf to eat stuff.
Dude, when I was on third shift, I'd regularly take over 300 milligrams.
Dude, when you were
That's third
on
shift, though.
third shift, you were actively hallucinating.
I
During
don't want to
the
be
daytime.
up for a third shift time.
That's true.
I live on coffee.
You do.
I don't like the taste of coffee.
You are coffee.
Hee
I don't think I've ever seen you without coffee. Well, besides for
I
now.
have, and she crashes. She's just.
So yeah, Kai. What's some things you like? Well, besides for ramen cat.
Yes, I
That
like
doesn't
Rom
count.
Cat.
What? What?
I don't know.
Doesn't count. I like ramen.
Okay.
Mine.
I like anime and manga and
No,
I'm
no,
a
no. Go back
weeb.
to the ramen. What type of ramen do you like?
Oh,
Mine.
Oh, no. We're getting on the ramen discussion.
It's all mine.
I actually
Save
really like the
me.
ramen Ramen Cat and I make together.
Oh, so you make homemade ramen.
Yes.
Do you make homemade noodles?
No,
No,
not to that
not
step
yet.
yet. I need to
Ah,
get a
okay.
noodle maker.
I actually in culinary school I used to make homemade ramen noodles. Those were
Cool.
yummy.
Can you make homemade ramen noodles without sugar?
You might be able to.
I had a friend that made bread without sugar. I'm just wondering if you can make noodles without sugar.
I've had bread
Probably.
without sugar. It tastes like a rock.
Hey, the friend of mine said it tasted okay.
That
Was
friend
this-
also eats lots of just raw materials.
Oh, it's-
That's true.
Oh, it's the.
Hey, I'm trying here. I am like half French, and I can't have bread or pasta. I'm
That's
going
why
to
you're.
explode.
That's where you're only a half say in power.
Yeah.
I was wondering why my hair was like not glowing anymore.
You're just like, Baguette. Pwah!
Anyways,
When you said baguette, it sounded like a different word. A bad word.
French don't swear. They just call you food.
Yeah.
Oui.
Actually, French do swear.
Oh,
A lot.
Anyways, back to the ramen. What's your favorite type of ramen? Like, type of ramen, not like how you make-
Flavor.
Yeah.
like noodles wise type ramen or like dish?
Yes.
Ramen
yes.
dish.
I thought you guys were talking about flavor.
That is the flavor.
Okay.
Ramen's used for a lot of stuff other than ramen.
Yeah.
No, it's the yummy stuff that you make at home.
Okay.
I mean, I have a red box of Manchin ramen in my
Maruchan?
Manchan.
Maruchan.
That's the only ramen I've ever had.
So sometimes you buy the like udon noodles or the ramen noodles, and then you put it in with a broth, with either chicken broth or a ramen broth.
Yep.
Boil that together. You add eggs. You add your veggies. It's really good.
Yep.
An
That still
unhealthy
doesn't tell me what your favorite flavor of ramen is.
Chicken.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to know. So, have you ever had shrimp ramen?
I want shrimp.
Like the nasty store packet kind or homemade? Because I've put shrimp in my
Both?
ramen before.
Nasty store kind. Depends on the kind. Homemade is pretty good.
Yeah. That one's like where you actually get like the cocktail shrimp and you boil it and stuff. And that would taste good.
See,
Yes.
I'm afraid to get anything seafood that you literally are like part of the instructions is microwavable. And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
I've had bad
That may be bad.
experiences with the like the Nissan shrimp ones. I
Yeah.
had the cup, the styrofoam cup stuff, and it was
I
stale.
am not gonna eat ramen out of a styrofoam cup.
I know.
Not
it-
unless I'm in Japan and
Yeah.
I can get it from like a store from there.
It depends
but-
on the brand.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like Nissan because the noodles always taste starchy and stale. That might just
Yeah.
be here in the U.S. I don't know. Like,
Well, we cook noodles and bread differently.
yeah.
We do.
I don't know. I mean, some ramen companies could actually import from Japan, but I doubt that.
Maruchan is from Japan.
Is
Nissan
it?
is from Japan. All the ramen you get here, like those, are from Japan. It's just different types. They make so many different types of ramen.
Cool.
Like Nissan does make a noodle bowl that we have here. It's like a spicy kimchi.
Yeah,
The noodles are good. Like the noodles are actually really good, and Wolf looks really lost in this conversation.
I just eat.
Do you like ramen, Wolf?
Eh.
Yeah.
He says that now until he tries my homemade ramen.
Yes.
Sure.
I kind of want to try it.
I kind of want to make it. It's just really painstakingly long to make.
And nowadays, really expensive.
That too.
Yummy.
I feel like with that comic, Kaikai just eats money. She will just mug someone, take their wallet, and just eat their money.
I could not do that. I've seen places money comes out of, and it's
True.
Have you just
True.
seen money?
yeah, I've seen
Like
money.
the torn up
But,
bills and
yeah,
they're just kind of limp?
No, you eat the
You-
brand new money from the bank.
You
That's-
experience something when you're in retail, and it's the
True.
middle of summer, and you're handed a wet $20 bill,
Uh-huh.
and you realize the person in front of you is not wet,
no.
Uh-huh.
and you realize the person in front of you also doesn't have pockets,
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
and then you die on the inside.
No, I just left that on the counter and alright, so I used to work at a health food store.
Yeah.
And that did happen where somebody like slapped a 50 down on the counter, and it's like after they left, we had this meat cleaver behind the cash register. Why, I don't know. Because the owner was a total pacifist.
Yeah.
But whatever, it was there. I just took it, pulled it out, put the tip of it out, and just slid it by the counter. And it was like next week when I was in there, it's like, there was a 50 here. What was that for? I was like, it was nasty.
Right. Well, the campground, I either get, hopefully you're hoping it's from the lake or the pool. That's what I hope why it's wet.
Huh, campground. Tell us about your domain.
I am the spirit of the campground.
Okay. We'll leave it vague and ambiguous.
Well, I mean, I don't think she wants to say exactly what
No,
campground
no,
she's
I
working
know.
at.
No,
know.
no.
That's not something you normally do on the internet.
No,
Yeah.
Especially
you
like
don't.
we're a small podcast, but once you get big, you have people that go back to the first episodes and listen to them.
Yeah.
And then you have the weird people that are like,
I'm
I'm
just-
going to find this person and marry them.
Yeah, I remember webtoon
Oh,
comic.
someone
that-
tried to do that. They would have to deal with Robin Cat.
Yes. It would be like a webtoon comic. I see where this guy, like, this guy's wife tries to be a web celebrity and
Yeah.
does like Twitch stream and stuff. And the husband's a security guard. And this guy, like, really creepy guy, like, comes and is like, I'm going to marry this lady. And it's like, well, she's already married. It's like, and the guy's like, nonsense. I'll just steal her away from you. And so the guy's like, it starts loading a pistol. I was like, what are you doing? Give me 6 reasons why this won't work.
That's great. So, Wolf, you've been quiet. What you been up to lately?
Eating the microphone.
No.
Please don't do that. They're expensive.
Honestly, nothing.
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 I hadn't stopped saying nothing because it's just gonna go into an infinite loop.
Good conversation.
I've just it's been
you been
stressful
watching
at
anything?
home.
I get it's been stressful, but like
a couple
you've
weeks
done
ago, I finished Fire Force season 2, but after that, I haven't watched anything.
I mean, you did send us that pic and just were like out of the blue. My sister looks like Arthur.
It was literally the day after.
not the cartoon Arthur, not the weird like mole rat guy, but like an anime character Arthur.
I just want to Photoshop Arthur over Arthur's face.
Arthur from the show Arthur is an aardvark.
Aardvark?
Oh
Aardvark.
yeah, he's an aardvark.
Yeah. But yeah, it was literally the day after I finished watching Fire Force Season 2. And we go to the dentist. We had
Yeah.
a big appointment. And I just, in the car, I look over, and my sister's just sitting there with the ponytail basically on top of the head and the side hair just down like Arthur does. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I could not think of anything else. It was just like Arthur sitting next to me.
Fire Force theme starts.
So what did you think of season 2?
It went by fast.
It went by really fast.
Really fast. I feel like maybe they could have drawn a couple of the arcs out longer.
I wish they would have drawn out the underground tunnel arc more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was only like what, 2 episodes?
I think it was like 3.
3 episodes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
3
But like
episodes.
I get-
seeing what's the Kitsune girl like actually like do her thing was pretty sweet.
Yeah. I guess I'm also just used to animes like Fairy Tale and like Initial D, where the arcs are literally half a season long?
I don't know. So far, I'm like an arc and a half into Fairy Tale. I'm only 10 episodes in.
But that's also the first
First
season
season
with
long.
like 59 episodes.
Yeah, the first season.
Yeah, that's true.
The arcs get longer.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm an outsider here.
And
So-
like in Initial D, the races, there's like 2 races a season.
Yeah, that's true. So you liked Fire Force then?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
I
That's
can't
awesome.
say much about it without spoiling it.
Well, yeah, you could. You're just not used to reviewing anime. Like me.
That's your job.
Yes, that's your job, Sir Boom.
I don't know if it's a job. It's more of a hobby.
It will be a job.
Someday, hopefully. Question for the Fairy Tale watchers of this group.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
In the anime, so you guys know the meme of whenever something weird happens, you hear the wow.
Yeah.
Is that actually supposed to be in the anime like every other scene?
Probably because Eden Zero, who's made by the same person, it's in there.
It's
a
in that
lot.
too. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm not getting pranked by Funimation.
No,
'cause, like,
No.
every single time, like fan service or like that one guy, the ice guy, whenever
Gray.
his clothes
Gray
come
strips.
off, and they
Yeah.
like mention it, that wow thing just
There's
happens.
another show I've heard it in. It's called what was it? You and I were watching it. Welcome to Demon School.
Okay.
Iruma, whatever it is. And they're one of the teachers is a succubus, and it's like every time she just moves that place in the background.
Yeah.
And she's not even doing anything. She's just like goes to grab a book, goes to point to
That's funny.
somebody.
I was just making sure Funimation wasn't pranking me
I think
because it's
the-
just like it was happening way too much.
I think later in the show that WoW kind of slows down.
I hope it does because it's actually literally distracting.
Yeah,
It's
it
supposed
does.
to be.
And I know I said a double negative there, but it's actually literally distracting.
Every time you move at work, you're like, wow.
That's how it feels like in the anime because like the cat Happy will do like a funny thing. It's just like wow. And it's just like what is going
It
on?
was the It was a '90s start, or maybe early 2000s. They didn't.
I think it was
2009.
They
was it
didn't know what they
2009?
were doing.
Yeah.
They had to compete with Pokemon.
Also, the first part of like the first season, the arcs are very short
Well,
and
I
they're
feel
not
like the
intense.
first season they weren't actually planning on having it run its full run.
Probably not.
'Cause it feels
Probably
like it's
not.
very like lightheartedly put together.
A lot of the show though is like that until
Is it?
you get to the serious arcs.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it gets more serious like everybody says it is, because right now it just feels like I'm watching a comedy skit.
A lot of it will feel like that.
Okay.
It's
You
like-
have a bit of a comedy skit in there, and then you have some serious arcs. Sometimes you'll be laughing your head off. Other times you'll be crying.
Well,
Or just
cool.
amazed.
Yeah.
Because I have like 298 episodes ahead of me.
That's why I'm hesitant on starting into
And
the show.
supposedly now Fairy Tale the 1,000-Year Journey is getting
100.
an anime. 100-Year Journey is getting a manga. No,
They're getting an anime from
it's
the
getting
manga.
an anime from the manga.
So there is more
I
fairy tale
There's
coming
more
out.
Fairy Tale.
I may have screamed in joy when I saw that.
I
don't
still
know
haven't
how
finished the last
I don't
season.
know how the heck the creator is keeping up with us because he's got Fairy Tale. Now he's got the other Fairy Tale guy. And he's got Eden Zero with issues coming out
I
still.
believe the
Also-
original fairy tale, like just fairy tale, has ended.
The
Yeah.
original Fairy Tale has ended, and then they started Fairy Tale 100-Year Quest,
And
Yep.
then Eden Zero.
and then Eden Zero. Eden Zero, I think issues come out every week. And
Oh,
then,
dang,
Wow.
I'm behind on books.
Also, just
and
to let-
then the Fairy Tale 100-Year Quest is every other. They're not
it's
coming
a
out.
bi-weekly release.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, just to let you guys know, everybody that listens to my other podcast, Back to Talk, knows this, but I have this weird superpower that once I start reading or watching something, it immediately starts coming out with more content. It happened to Evangelion.
Can you watch Initial D so Funimation will dub the rest
Can you
of it?
just do it to
Yes,
every
please.
great anime
Have you
that
watched
only
Initial
has
D?
12
Yes, I have.
episodes?
Well, literally,
I
I-
got to the last bit that was dubbed, and I
Right.
finished it, and now I'm like, why?
Why did you stop dubbing?
Well, there was a hiatus,
True.
and then they just never picked it back up.
No, they didn't.
But like, I started watching Fairy Tail, and they announced the anime adaptation of 1,000 Year Quest. I watched Evangelion. They ended the series of Evangelion.
They
I started
kept the
watching
movie.
ReZero. Season 2 came out.
Let me find one of the anime I used to watch and
Yeah.
rewatch Noragami. Darn it!
That's the thing. It's weird. Like,
I want a season 3 to finish
I don't
up.
know. The only thing I think that backfired is I was watching Berserk and then I stopped and yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I must like be the Death Note incarnate or something like that.
Jeez. So, Boom, what's new with you? We've all spilled our guts.
No, you haven't. We haven't gotten to you yet.
I mean, pretty much whatever I'm doing, you're doing.
That's true.
We work together.
Let's see. I
And then they
learned
claim
how to
you guys
video
on
edit.
Saturday.
Yeah. I learned how to video edit. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually went through a whole master class and stuff like that.
So if I can ever figure out how to animate, I'm just going to send you my terrible choppy animations. Like, make this beautiful.
Sounds good. So I did that, and then I've been updating a lot of the podcast YouTube channels and stuff like that. I watched Ghost in the Shell, the original movie of that. So
Oh,
that
really?
was fun.
That's awesome.
Now, is the movie coming before the show, or is
Yes,
the show?
the
Yes.
movie is the first one. So there's the movie, there's the second movie. So there's the movie, and then there's Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence.
Yep.
And then there's the TV series, which is kind of like a spin-off. And then they also have like another spin-off series after that, and then Netflix kind of took it over and did some extra stuff with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've never seen Ghost in the Shell, but from a little bit I've gathered of it, for anyone that's ever watched it, it seems to have the same vibe as if anyone remembers the movie Eon Flux.
Nope.
I've
Nope.
never seen that movie.
It is such a weird movie.
I will say it kind of has that you kind of know the premise of Total Recall,
Yes, I love Total Recall.
where like the memories can be like altered and stuff like that, and you're not truly sure who you exactly are.
Yeah, you're living a simulation.
It has that
basically.
very much, but then it also has the matrix effect of. So the main character, the Major, she is what is known as a shell.
Mhm.
So she has a total cyborg body, but she has a mechanical brain where her conscious was loaded up into it. So supposedly she was a regular human before this happened, but she's never too sure because they've learned to hack into people and like alter memories and stuff like that. So through the most of the movie, it's the philosophical discussion of, is she truly human or is she something else? Because
Okay.
supposedly she's human, but she's in this robot body. But also at the same time, the whole main bad guy character called the Puppet Master is like creates this other shell that has no like human, like, what is it called, copy in it, but it still has like a personality to it,
A soul.
a soul basically. It has a signature of a soul in it, so it's just like she has to like figure out like, what am I basically, and that's what the movie's addressing. That's what the first movie is. Honestly, the first movie is only an hour and a half, and like you're watching it, and then all of a sudden like a big fight happens and it's done. You're like, wow, what in the world just happened?
I might have to pick that up. That
It is.
sounds
I'd
interesting.
suggest watching it. If you can find it subbed, watch it that way. Don't watch it dubbed.
Bad dub.
It's bad dub.
Okay.
Yeah, bad dub.
1995 dub.
Oh.
I got stuck watching the dub because I had something funny happen. The only places you could find it is like YouTube and Amazon.
Mhm.
YouTube has it for free, but it has only the closed caption subtitles.
Mhm.
So the closed caption subtitles suck for just watching anime in general.
Closed caption
Yes, it does.
subtitles suck for everything. I was watching something the other day, and like the guy just said "supposed to,"
Yeah.
and the thing is like "net ye,"
Yeah.
whatever. And this is in English.
Yeah, now try having a closed caption translate Japanese.
Yeah. It's just like a string of text.
Yeah. So Then I tried finding a place that had the original subtitles, so that way I could just watch the original translation.
Wait a second. Is Ghost in the Shell on Funimation?
It is, but you can't watch it. You can't watch the first movie.
Why?
It's not on there properly.
Oh.
You click on it and it says unavailable.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, I went to Amazon and I was like, okay, I'll just watch it on Amazon because Amazon has decent like subtitling and stuff. I click on it, I buy it, I rent it, and it's like, oh, this is the dub. You can't watch the sub with this version.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, wow, screw you too, Amazon.
I remember when you stepped off the rocket and you helped build this.
Yeah, so that was honestly kind of weird. So
Okay.
I have a DVD somewhere.
actually, this whole experience convinced me that I'm gonna get a Blu-ray player and just start collecting some of my favorite anime in Blu-ray. Yes.
Yeah.
How much would you be willing to pay for a Blu-ray player that also plays video games?
Well, considering I already paid $150 for one, I'll pay $150.
Okay, that might
I
be.
think that was a hint to be dropped for a PS5.
I know it was, but I've technically already bought half of that.
Yeah, I
so-
forgot about that.
I'll give
Wait.
you 150 discount.
So what does that bring it to?
150.
Sounds like we're having a deal come along.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I still have to wait and see how things go. later.
Wolf looked
Yeah.
a little confused there.
I was
Get
trying
your
to do.
get your PS5 before you sell the PS4. But I would be willing to buy the PS4 for the simple fact it plays Blu-rays. Plus, I can play some of my favorite PS4 games on it. Mainly Bloodborne,
Yeah,
because I'd love to play Bloodborne.
Bloodborne is weird.
Video games.
Do you not like video games?
I love video games.
Cool.
Ooh.
What video games do you like?
Devil May Cry.
That's a good video game. Never played it. But I
Neither
hear-
have
I play it all of the whole series.
Yeah.
I love it. That and I do like the Tomb Raider ones. But I've recently did
Now, when you say Tomb Raider, do you mean the remake or the old 90s version Tomb Raider?
I used to play the old 90s
Okay,
one.
so you're actually a true Tomb Raider fan then.
Yes. The new ones are okay, but yeah, the old ones.
I hear they go much more into like survival
They do.
mechanics than like the old Tomb Raider was very much like puzzles and
I was
like action.
There's a bit of puzzles in the new ones, but it is more of you find this item, you do that, or survival.
Yeah. Cool.
It took more of the approach of like Uncharted, I believe.
Oh, it's very much like Uncharted. Yeah.
I mean, I've never played Uncharted. So.
Uncharted is very much kind of like some puzzles, but it's a lot of fighting and
Yeah.
then just story.
Actually, that's a lie. I played what was the Uncharted Golden
Edition?
Compass or Golden Arc or something like that.
Golden-
It was for the PS Vita,
Oh,
where they
Okay.
implemented all like the AR and like the movement sensor stuff. And, like it was weird.
I have caught her playing Minecraft.
You play Minecraft.
Yes. Yes, I
Well,
do.
now we're gonna
Who
have to
doesn't?
sacrifice you to the elder gods because, no.
what?
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 Are you saying you are the one getting sacrificed to Eldritch God?
No, I don't play Minecraft.
Yeah, but everyone else here has or plays it a little bit.
Why is Kai getting sacrificed?
No, we're
then?
sacrificing him now
Why?
because he's just basically said you don't like Minecraft.
I didn't say I don't like Minecraft.
You were gonna sacrifice people.
Well, that's
Sacrifice
just the
that
excuse
guy.
to sacrifice people.
Okay.
You don't need an excuse.
What?
You can just build a pyre, just hop on it and be like, I'm happy.
No, I don't want to sacrifice myself. That's the point.
No sacrificing
That's called being a
Kai.
martyr. I don't want to be a martyr.
No, kill. Never mind.
I just want to dig like a 2-foot deep hole. I'm like, this is a sacrifice. Just boot the person in there. Like, all right, get out. You've been
The pit of death.
sacrificed.
Call it the pit of death.
Oh yeah, the villagers.
Villager news.
Oh no.
The pit of death.
Hello.
This is
Minecraft.
Poof.
If you
Oh.
haven't seen Villager News, look it up on YouTube. It is awesome.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I love that. It was so good.
So I did hit one highlight. this week.
What?
What's
I
that?
think I pretty much have every video game that might interest me.
No, you don't.
No,
Yes,
you
I do.
don't.
Okay, maybe the new Borderlands game that's coming out looks great.
Yeah, you've seen the basically D&D.
The
Mix.
D&D mixed with Borderlands.
I was gonna send that on Discord to everybody, but I forgot to.
The selling point for me was this. It was the trailer song was a baby metal song.
Yeah.
And the fact that the characters going along is like, so, you guys are probably asking, why did I put guns in a fantasy city? And you know what my response was? Shut your mouth and start firing.
Yeah, that ad is awesome.
It's just the whole thing just looks great. Like it's getting away from the Borderlands story because I don't know. I haven't played 3, but I feel like 3 probably wrapped up everything.
Probably.
I don't know. I started playing 3 and then I was like, ooh, look, another video game.
Well, there is pre-sequel and then there's sequel. So
Well, there's number 3, which is actual like.
sequel.
There's
The last
Borderlands 1, 2, 3, and then the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
I should start
But
playing 3. Wait,
this-
no, a second. I'm supposed to be playing Fallen Order. Ah, shoot! I got too many video games.
I think what they're
Yeah.
gonna do now is just start doing spin-offs of the Borderlands series because all the characters really are just so nutty that it's like you kind of know them on a personal scale, and like the character of Tiny Tina is just that character. It's like she's so off the walls nuts that this is just the perfect
Tiny Tina scares me, especially playing the DLC from Borderlands 2.
Oh, was it the assault on the castle or whatever it is?
No, it's where she's wanting you to go get cookies.
I don't think I played that.
You didn't play that one where she
No.
wants you to get cookies and like you have to murder like half the robot industry to get the cookies.
Cookies?
They like internet cookies.
All I remember is like a
I
number
don't
2
remember.
where she's like, I need the badunkadunk. It's just a nuke.
Yeah. Well, no, she's having a tea party, but she needs cookies, so she sends you on a quest to get cookies.
Tea party? Cookies?
And like, of course, you're in like the Thunderdome arena of the big guy that says explosions all the time. So like everything is trying to kill you, including the things that have the cookies.
I should play through Borderlands.
I gotta get Borderlands for the computer and play through it again.
I have all the Borderlands, or I might just have 2 and 3 for the computer.
Well, I have 1 and 2 and the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
I like
Handsome Jack collection.
one outside of the fact the game felt so lonely because it was very much a flagship game to really test what they could do.
Honestly, I think 1 is my favorite, but the reason it's my favorite is because it was the first rated M game I ever played.
I remember like asking, can you play rated M games as I'm blowing a bandit's head off? I don't know. I liked 2 because it felt very much more polished. You could actually build your characters. Like I actually was able to figure out. I was like, all right, these stats work good with this stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I would like if eventually they went back to 1 and just kind of implement like the menus and things like that. Outside of
proper
that,
remake.
I didn't like the fact of how lonely number 1 felt.
Oh yeah, it did feel like an actual wasteland.
Yeah, like there's like a few NPCs and you never hardly talk to them.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Where number 2, it actually feels like you're on a planet with people.
Right.
And to me, that really set the atmosphere for Borderlands because you do have like Mordecai, you have Tiny Tina, you have Moxie, and all those
Yep.
characters is like you can just kind of just go back and forth with. And it's like they're all so unique
Yeah.
and stand out.
Well, it's like the first Hancock, right? That's the eccentric guy in the Borderlands 2. It's like one of the first NPCs you meet. Like the first thing he does is have you get like he has Claptrap get electrocuted by electric fence.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like it's I don't know, just like the comedy and the interaction with these characters is great.
yeah. I don't know. It's like it's one of those things. Not to make it sound offensive, but it's dumb humor.
Yeah.
And it's like it works.
Yeah.
It's very much like that.
It's a great way to blow off steam and just
Yeah, it's that dark comedy humor
yeah.
that kind of makes you uncomfortable, but like
It's not too
it
far.
yeah, it works. Like it's cool.
Oh, sounds like fun.
It is.
Have you ever played Borderlands?
Nope.
You
Oh,
should
man.
get it, and you and I should play Borderlands together. I have never beat number 2 because number 2 is so long.
You know it'd be fun. Borderlands is a 4-player split screen.
Shit, I have a computer.
I have
Oh,
it.
split screen.
Yeah.
I have
You
it.
have big TV.
I have it.
I have
on-
a big TV.
Oh shoot! I only have 3 controllers though.
She has a PS4. I don't know if it's 4-player split screen or if you have to do it online. You know that weird thing that the
I don't know. let me
previous
Google it.
new gen systems were like, yeah, it's 4-player,
Yes,
but you have to
I
have
do.
accounts. Like Halo was like, yeah, to have 4 people, you have to have Xbox Live.
I can't remember because I tried playing multiplayer with Borderlands. Not recently, but when we first got it. I can't remember if it was restricted
But
to 2
it's
or
very
4.
much
I
a-
think it's
a-
full 4
It's very much a loot and shoot.
because
Okay.
it was literally a port.
Now the question is, who gets what character?
We should also play through Diablo. I've completed Diablo, so I believe I've unlocked it where I can just skip chapter 1.
Okay.
Also,
so
I've
people-
gotten so proficient at Diablo, I can beat chapter 1
Really
in
quick.
about a half hour.
So, being introduced to the PS4 version of Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, with 2-hour session of split-screen 4-player madness.
2 hours.
Sorry, they were playing for 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
It is basically it's a 60 frames per second, and yes, it has 4-screen boxed.
Like
split-
good old-fashioned.
Good old-fashioned.
Oh, we
Borderlands.
should totally do that one
That
of
would be
these
so
days.
fun.
That would be fun.
I have the Handsome Jack
You
collection.
guys bring over your PS4s, and then we just play it here.
I'm not bringing nothing. I don't want a PS4.
Well, he has to bring his PS4 because I'm buying it from him. So
Okay.
Oh yeah,
eventually,
eventually. I don't know.
But-
I don't even know if I could get a PS5 right now.
For anyone that's wondering, the grumbling is me, Boom, and Wolf for probably since it
the
came
Diablo
out.
3.
Diablo 3. So many times we've played it, got past chapter 1 just for something to happen. We end up back at chapter. I have killed the Skeleton King so many times.
What happens is we'd all sit down. This is when we were younger and we had like a whole Saturday to play. We'd sit down and
we played Diablo 3 for 12 hours straight one time.
and we only got through like chapter 1 and
We got
halfway
to
through chapter
3.
2.
We got the chapter
Oh, yeah,
3.
we
We
did
got
get
to
to
chapter
3.
3 and it was time for me to go home.
And then it'd be about half
and
a
then
year
we
before we
never
played
played
again.
it again.
Yeah, because we'd be so burnt out from it.
Yeah. But I finally played it by myself and I beat all the way through it and the DLC.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you beat that game.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was possible to beat that game.
I beat it. I believe I beat it through as a monk.
I honestly
That makes sense.
don't like Diablo 3. I have actually played it by myself, trying to get through it, and fallen asleep playing it. Because it's, to me,
What
it's,
class did you play
I
through with
played
it?
a Crusader.
Crusader is the most boring class.
It is, but I've tried playing like the Barbarian stuff, and it's like, okay, it comes from a
If you want fun classes, you have to play as like a monk, a demon hunter, or like a witch doctor.
I don't like playing the Demon Hunter because it's just spam the trigger and the monk.
No, like
The
playing
monk-
by yourself as a demon hunter
Is different.
is different because it has to be very tactical. Like you're
Yeah.
running away from enemies 90% of the time because you think just spamming the button would work until they surround you and just
Okay.
eat you.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of
I-
same with like the monk or the wizard.
No.
You got to constantly do like the
played-
dashes through.
I played the monk and I just tore through enemies. I was like, this is not fun.
What difficulty did you play it on?
As hard as I could go.
Okay.
But the problem is when I play RPG games, I usually tend to not farm, but I will like do every quest in a section and then move on to the next area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, it reminded me too much of like if anyone's ever played Gauntlet.
No.
Gauntlet was like, it was a top-down RPG game. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. But it was enemies spawn out of this nest. You
No.
wade through your enemies, kill the nest, and just keep doing that through
Yeah.
these giant maps. And it got really boring.
I guess the part where I got really bored with Diablo 3 when I played it by myself was chapter 3. Beginning of chapter 3, you're basically at this huge fortress and like the gates of hell are invading, and it's literally just going through the fortress out to the battlefield, and it's just spot hallways just like
Just
crazy, and just maybe a
tedious.
room, and it's just same thing over, and it seems like it goes on for the whole chapter, and it's
Yeah.
just that. Other than that, most of the time
Is that chapter 3 or chapter 4?
That's chapter 3.
Is it? I don't remember that. In
Chapter
3.
1 is
We
Tristram.
didn't play chapter 3. We got to chapter 3.
Oh, that's right. We played through
It's
chapter 2.
right at the beginning of chapter 3.
Because I thought chapter 2 was kind of interesting with like
Yeah.
all the cultists and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
chapter 2, chapter 1 are good. Chapter 4, I believe, is pretty good. I believe you're actually chapter...
You know a good game that was like Diablo, it didn't get much love? Grim Dawn.
There's a big community of Grim Dawn players.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, for anyone that's ever played it or never played it, yeah, let me explain to the people that know it. It's basically Diablo meets steampunk.
Gothic.
Yeah.
Gothic steampunk. So it's like you have zombies and demons invading, you have Cthulhu-like creatures. It's like all these different dimensional factions are like, yeah, we're all gonna invade at once.
Right.
And here's humans like, we got guns, we got swords, let's go.
In pyrokinetics.
And pyrokinetics. Like the class system was so cool because it was like you could only pick 2 classes, or like you could pick a class, but later on you get to pick a second class, and it's like you could combo
It
stuff.
had
and-
multi-class.
Yeah, it wasn't even multi-class. It just made whole new classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I put a soldier and a demolitions expert together, and I got a commando.
I did a barbarian, I think it was, and a shaman. Holy crap, was that overpowered? You just wade through stuff.
Yeah. So Kai Kai,
Hi.
you like playing Devil May Cry and like not Lara Croft. That's
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider games. So you kind of like the action adventure games.
Yeah, I do.
Did you ever play through Last of Us?
I haven't.
No. Okay.
I tried.
I kind of want to.
I got bored.
I kind of want her to play Dead Space.
She could have fun in Dead Space. Like, how do you like horror games?
I don't. I'm good at being in a horror thing instead of doing horror stuff.
Yeah. What was that one from Ubisoft? Not Ubisoft. Bethesda.
Oh, Evil Among Us.
Yeah. I
I
think
s-
she liked that one.
Oh,
I
that's
started
different.
to play that. It's like I gotta
That
get,
one messes with you though.
I gotta get into it better because I'm not used to constantly having a limping character.
Yeah.
Didn't they
And-
get a remake?
Yeah, I had Evil Within 2.
No,
No.
I mean like an actual, like the first one got a remake.
No,
I
it
don't-
got a
or
bunch, it got a
remastered?
bunch of DLCs,
DLC's okay.
Yeah.
and it's cool. It's like you can just hop into them. You don't need to beat the game because it's the different characters.
Yeah.
I've kind of been saving it for more October
Okay.
because I like to play like horror stuff around
Yeah.
Halloween. So on my list is Last of Us and what's the game that's really controversial as a horror game? Outlast.
Outlast.
Outlast 2. I want to play through that.
Outlast 2 is really controversial because it had a lot of occultic stuff in it. People have problems with like religious cultic stuff. I don't know why.
I found the premise of the story interesting. I just didn't like the fact that your camera was your flashlight.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I didn't like about it. Like it was I started to play it once at 4 a.m, and it's like after like the first encounter, it's like I'm awake.
Right.
I'm going to bed, but I'm awake.
I think the one game I want to play through right now is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
And that's just because I realize it's like the one Star Wars game I haven't really played through.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most like the type of genre I like to play, so I don't know why I haven't played through it yet.
Nice. I am currently working my way through Greedfall, which is interesting.
I hear Greedfall is very much like reminiscent of what's that one?
Dragon Age.
Yeah, Dragon Age.
It is a lot like Dragon Age. Honestly, I don't know if it's just because I haven't gotten too far into it.
Yeah.
It's not super actiony. It's more just plot driven. It's very political simulator.
It's
Huh.
also very built like an MMO.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
The combat though, I like the combat in it.
It's interesting. I've played a little bit of it.
The only thing
got
I could
bored with it,
complain
though.
about is like there are firearms in the game, like muskets and stuff, but they are a technique. so you have to like bind them to a thing rather than just make it be like, yeah, I'm just gonna use muskets.
Okay, so it's like an MMO then.
Yeah.
Where like you could be having a sword and then all of a sudden you hit the musket technique and he pulls out a musket and fires. And...
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of a blend of Assassin's Creed meets Dragon Age.
Okay,
A little bit, not too much.
From what I've played
I
of
could
it,
see that.
what Assassin's Creed era
More
are you
like the
talking?
older ones.
We don't
guess.
mention the new Assassin's Creed. That is called Ubisoft Skyrim.
You mean
It's
Va-
even less than
you mean
Skyrim.
Valhalla?
Well, I mean, it started with the Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, okay. Where they just
Yeah,
totally
Origins.
changed everything.
Yeah, where they
Was it
changed everything.
Origins
I
or was
feel-
it?
It was Origins.
I
Then what
feel-
was the one that came out after that?
It was Origins, Odyssey,
Yeah,
and then
Odyssey.
Valhalla.
I played the first an hour and a half of Odyssey.
I hear Odyssey is really good because like it's an Assassin's Creed game, but it's also like very much
Greek
like the
mythology.
new Greek mythology and
I've
stuff.
just been having a hard time finding a game that keeps my attention.
Same.
I guess the two games I'm waiting for, I guess I don't have all the games though, is the Borderlands game, the Borderland one, just because it looks nuts, and Elden Ring. I
Yes.
really want to play Elden Ring.
I think it's only about I forget how many days away it is.
Wait, it's only days away?
Well, when I mean
Oh.
days, it's in the hundreds.
Oh, okay.
It comes out January 22nd, I believe.
Oh,
Honestly, Elden Ring, I haven't looked into it much, so it's like I don't have the hype around it, but it's just like,
I just want a good open world game.
yeah,
I
that would
mean,
be cool.
I'm waiting eternally for the next Elder Scrolls.
You like
so-
Bloodborne.
I never really played Bloodborne.
You've seen a playthrough of it.
Yeah.
And you want to play it. You like Dark
Yeah.
Souls.
Yeah.
Have you seen like Sekiro?
Yes, I actually have Sekiro now.
Have you played any of it?
No, I just got it last week, so
Now, Elden Ring is the baby of all of those combined.
So
that's
you
one
just
messed up.
You're
baby.
just gonna step out of the tutorial. You died.
Like, it's the accumulation of Miyazaki's, which is the creator of
yeah.
those games, basically experience making those games.
Now
all
that he
together.
has everything polished the way he wants, now he's gonna
Yep.
integrate it all into one big thing.
It's not a Dark Souls clone. It's not going to be like a Sekiro clone. It's going to be all of them kind of fused together. Like there's jumping, there's the basic combat style of Dark Souls. You have horse combat, and it's
Cool.
it's full open world too.
Yeah.
Now, here's the one thing I'm hoping, because this is the one thing that irritates me in a lot of open world games. They'll be open world, air quotes, and then they'll just be barren of any decoration or details and
It'll
stuff.
have the Shadow of the Colossus effect.
Yeah.
Well, there is a
here's a bunch
walking-
of bushes.
Yeah.
There is a walking bell tower that just roams
Right.
around, I believe. And there's just like caravans of troops. I don't know.
Okay, if there's a walking bell tower and there's not a little midget guy at the bottom saying, "Do you want to protect the bell?"
There might be. I don't know.
I
There
will be mad if that's not there.
FromSoft has been very cards to the chest with this game.
I guess my thing where I'm always a skeptic when it comes to open world games is you get games, we'll use for example like Greedfall, where it's open world,
But it's not.
but it's in cells, it's in zones, and everything has a collision box, so you can't really interact with it.
Yeah.
From what
Or what I like and stuff, and I know there's not a lot of games like it, is like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clutter. You can interact with all the clutter.
from what it sounds like is it's going to be kind of how Skyrim and Elder Scrolls are, where there isn't like collision box to areas
Okay.
because it is
So I can glitch my face through the wall if I want.
it's FromSoft. Yes,
Okay.
you can find the glitch ways. It will be there. I can guarantee you that. But they like even kept multiplayer in it.
That's cool.
Well, that's
Nice.
pretty cool.
Is it gonna actually be multiplayer? Or is it gonna be the weird soul system? Where it's like very vague, very specific places.
Fixed Dark Souls multiplayer.
Okay. So
They are making it where if you're invading, which is kind of how the multiplayer of the Souls games are, is you will choose to invade a different player's world, and then you fight it out, and whoever wins wins. But they made it in the newest one where if you're invading, you cannot invade a single player person. You can only invade someone that's doing co-op.
Oh, cool. So you can't have like the guys like, I beat the game 12 times. I'm gonna go get this noob.
Yeah, you won't have the people are if you're wanting to play it by yourself just for the story, you won't be invaded unless you like summon a friend. But then you get to beat
Okay.
up one dude.
Okay.
That's cool.
Okay, that's cool.
So Kai,
Hi.
sorry, my voice. Any games you're looking forward to, or what you've been looking forward to, or what you've been doing, like lately?
Lately, I've been working on the haunted house at the campground and the haunted trail.
You haven't been doing anything else.
No.
No, I am stuck on campus.
Oof, that's a.
Help. This is a local demon. I have been bound to this place.
Sounds like we're gonna need to have you back on when you're actually doing your normal stuff then. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So, well, in that case, how's designing a haunted house been?
This year it's been a little frustrating, mostly because I'm not getting the help I need from a certain somebody.
Yeah.
But
Hello.
you're fine. You've been the best. But it actually this year we got the most raven reviews over the haunted house last year or the last weekend we did it.
Cool.
And this year has been some fun. I have some newer props that just came in that maybe I'll put in. But yeah, it's been fun trying to figure out different areas where it'll look cool with a black light or where to freak somebody out, see if thinking they're not going somewhere. And
Yeah.
Finding
Dead
out
ends.
I'm allergic to face paint.
Oh.
yeah.
So, designing a haunted house, like how much like actual design goes into it, or is it more like just walking into the area and just like I'm going to throw this up until it looks scary enough to call it good?
I spent a couple weeks figuring out which area might be.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of design aspect because like in an area that I built or worked on, I did like a altar thing in it, and it wasn't even so much to make it look scary. It was like figure out the lighting, how they can see this, but it kind of blacks out everything around
Right.
it.
Spotlight.
You know, yeah. How do you spotlight it with just using little electric tea lights and
Right,
things
yeah.
like that?
How
I've
to
got-
get like the stage effect where like you can see them but they can't see
right.
you
And the
type
way
of
like the
thing.
lighting works in this is like there's an altar with a bunch of skulls, like you're walking into a crypt.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's a wall and there's just a bunch of skeletons grafted into it.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So it's like the light is on those two things, so they can't really see stuff. It's like it's a lot of design in it.
Yeah.
Lighting sounds like
Well,
it'd be a
I'd
horrible thing
have
try
to think
do
it's
with
like
that.
designing a house.
Oh yeah.
It's just a little bit simpler because you're not going from like the ground up. But
Yeah, we kind of did this year.
did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We completely flipped it around so they're going in backwards.
Oh, compared to
Oh.
previous years where it's one way, now
Yep.
you're going the opposite way. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. That probably messes up a lot of people that go each and every year.
Yeah.
It did.
So-
It did.
What was it? The first family that came through actually went the wrong way.
I mean, I helped work in this place a couple years now, and like
So
we've
did
had
I.
that happen at least once a year. It seems like.
They go the wrong way. But
Yeah.
this time they're so used to the person leading them through or so used to
Yeah.
leading them that way. And I'm like, no, they have to go this way. Wrong way. Wrong way. You have to
You-
go the other way.
You almost need like a guide at that point. Then, if you like completely change the layout, you almost need like one person to walk them through it.
Yeah.
We sort of blocked off the area where they could walk. That's where I stand, and I
Okay, that's
pulled
cool.
up one of the sheets up so they can't go through that area.
Right.
That's what I learned after we had that one family go
And then
through.
like if they try going that way, you can kind of like push them back, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Give them resistance. That makes sense. That's cool.
This year, I would say for this, it's like we last year on last minute notice because we thought it was COVID
Yeah.
that was going to be closed down, and it wasn't. We went with carnival theme. This year, we just went like every area is different.
That's cool. That's kind of the best haunted houses. Like I've seen haunted houses where like you're walking through a crypt and like a dinosaur head just like pops out of nowhere and
Yeah.
like, scares the bejeebas out of you.
Yeah,
Like-
and it's like I think that made it a little bit more fun, and at the end, it kind of messes with perception and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Nice. Sounds like you put a lot of thought and effort into it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Although I think Kai Kai was like trying to skewer people on some obstacles.
Oh, you were telling me about the whole staple problem.
Thing where it's like I push back this fake wall and all of a sudden it whacks me with a bunch of
Right.
staples.
So
And you had to
obviously,
foam the other side of the walls.
Oh, yes.
you design a haunted house.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you watch horror movies? Do you read like horror books, or what's like your inspiration?
I don't really know. I've been working in this haunted house for 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
So I've always enjoyed doing it, but
Yeah.
I've been set in charge of it the last 2 years, and it's just something I like to write, so it's something maybe I, look
Okay.
up. And I don't watch much horror except for maybe the monster movies we watch during Halloween or something like that.
Yeah.
My friend always told me that I would be, well, in a horror movie, but watching the horror movie, probably not.
Okay. So you don't think you'd be a good person to watch like Friday the 13th or anything like that?
Some of those occult classics I can still watch. It's just a few of, maybe I like the horror, but not more slaughter films.
Oh, you don't
So
want to watch
not
The
Friday
Collector?
the 13th or The Collector. Oh, geez, not The Collector.
That's
Please,
the
no.
one slasher movie I want to see.
The
My
Co-
dad watched it one night. He was telling me about it. Like
Yeah.
he didn't know the name of it. He said it was enough to disturb him. He went and locked all the doors.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was The Collector, wasn't it? How do you know? I just got done watching Film Theories explained about it.
So what horror movies have you seen then?
I was forced to watch Saw, which I did not like.
I didn't do it. I don't.
Saw is the first one was a horror movie.
The first
Anything
one.
after that is pretty much just torture porn,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but like,
The Saw
Yeah.
one had a plot to it.
Yeah.
Where, like the guy was bribing the guy to do this while this guy's in this situation.
Yeah, I like the old 50s monster movies or the.
Okay.
I love those. I really do.
so you like the original like Wolfman?
The original Wolfman, the original, the
A little bit.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Thinking our roster of Halloween movies is a little bit of like 80s and 70s movies. Like
In
we've
there
got
too.
Fright Night.
Did you ever watch The Thing?
Yes.
Okay. So that one's probably one of the more disturbing ones ever. What did you think of it?
Did you see the remake or did you see the 80s version?
80s with mom.
Whoa.
Oh, her
Okay.
mom is a horror movie junkie.
Yes, my mom is. We
Okay.
watch Cujo together.
Yeah, her mom found out I had never seen Cujo, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta watch it. It's one of my favorites."
I'm not gonna get into it on the podcast, but knowing a little bit about her mom, that's really surprising to me. Like extremely surprising. Like,
I got her to watch Crimson Peak, and even
Yeah.
though it's just like a good old ghost story, basically, it
Yeah.
was like she loved it.
huh? That's
Mhm.
cool.
Well, my mom has experienced a few things in her life and a few things, so she's more open to
Huh.
that sort of things.
All right. Well, cool.
Dad, no, he's strictly watching animated movies.
Animated movies, huh?
Yes,
Like I
Toy
Like-
Story,
Okay. So
Cars.
Like, oh, okay.
how about El Dorado?
El Dorado.
That was such a great movie.
Oh, that one is so underappreciated. El Dorado and what's that other one?
Titan Ivy.
What?
You never seen that where it's like Earth blows up and humans are like scattered across space, and it's like this guy goes to like find this planet that can rebuild worlds.
It sounds very, very familiar.
I haven't seen that movie since I was a little kid.
No, I'm thinking Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet was great,
Yeah,
and you know what
Treasure
made
Planet.
me love Treasure Planet even more?
Huh.
I had just got done watching Treasure Island alongside it. I was like, oh, this is great.
Treasure Planet and what's it called? Iron Giant are like my two favorite old animated
Iron
shows.
Giant was great.
Iron Giant was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the story, like the way they did the characters and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's so good. So, what's your favorite genre of movies?
This will be gratefully useful to me.
I don't really know. I watch just about everything.
I feel like you like hardcore action, fast-paced movies.
Yes, I do. I
Because
do.
when you're over at my house, that's usually what you pick.
Hardcore action. So, like,
Die
John
Hard.
Wick? Die Hard?
I've seen all the Die Hards. Yes.
How about John Wick?
I have not seen John Wick.
Okay, have you seen, oh, here's an
Expendables.
old one. Have you seen Speed?
Yes, I have.
Okay, that was one of my favorite, like, action movies back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Speed?
Bits and pieces.
Oh, man, that's such a good one.
I
That is a very good
honestly, my kind of action movies I liked Red. I liked Expendables. I liked Expendables because it was just so hokey.
Expendables are pretty good.
And I like movies like the first and second John Wick. I didn't really care for the third one so much, but I want to watch them all in order, like back to back, because
You
that's
kind of have to.
the way the movie's meant to be.
Yep.
This is movies like that.
Yep. I like the old like Demolition Man.
I love
Oh,
them. Okay.
oh, yes.
90s and 80s
Yeah.
action flicks are great.
They
Honestly,
are.
one of my favorites. So there's Demolition Man, but one of my favorites is Last Action Hero.
I grew up watching that every day.
Last Action Hero is such a good movie.
It is.
Like,
I don't understand how though, like 5-year-old me got to watch this every day faithfully alongside Jurassic Park.
I grew up with Jurassic Park, and I also grew up with Twister.
didn't
I don't
grow
know
up-
how I grew up with Twister.
My
That's an
roster
awesome
of
movie.
daily movies, because we didn't have satellite when I was little, and like people would record movies and
Yeah.
bring them to me. My roster of movies was The Land That Time Forgot,
That's
where
a
it was
good
about
one.
a British lady and an American guy getting captured by Nazis and terrorized by dinosaurs.
Yep.
Jurassic Park, Star Wars Episode 4, once in a while maybe 5, or whatever it is. And Last Action Hero. And occasionally
Okay.
Terminator would get thrown in there for no reason. I was like, eh.
Yes.
Like my parents' concept of movies that were child appropriate, I question now.
Right.
I'm glad
right.
that they let me watch them, but it's like at the same time, it's like, why did you
Of course
why
there's-
did you let me watch these messed up shows?
Of course, there's a little me sitting next to mom watching Poltergeist.
Hey, Poltergeist is great.
It is.
My parents always kind of confused me a little bit about like what they would allow me to watch and what they wouldn't allow me to watch, because like I couldn't watch Ninja Turtles for a while,
What?
and I couldn't watch Power Rangers for a while.
Oh,
Okay, I wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers just because my parents were like, the acting is terrible.
Right. Well, mine was for different reasons. I couldn't watch Pokemon for a while. But
Only when
I grew
Grandma
up
was back from
watching.
Canada.
I grew up watching the trilogy of Jurassic Park. I watched old movies like Demolition Man. I watched Rambo.
Were you able to watch Demolition Man?
I don't know.
Wesley Snipes rips a man's eye
I
out
know.
of his
I
head.
know. Okay. I watched Twister. I grew up with Twister. I grew up watching like they let me watch the original Alien.
I wasn't even allowed to watch that. Those were some of the movies where like my family kind of drew the lines. If they got really gory, I wasn't allowed to watch them.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't watch Predator. I was so excited.
I watched Predator.
Seriously?
Yeah.
See-
Not when I was really young. Like this is
Oh,
like
oh,
this
okay.
is like my early like probably like 10.
Like it was weird. The day that my dad was okay with me pretty much watching any movie, it was like he sat me down. He's like, I have a classic, and he put Jaws in.
Then we go hide in a corner.
My parents always threatened to put on Arachnophobia for me
Oh, jeez.
because we had it pre-recorded on VHS. I was like, no.
See,
Don't worry, Kai Kai will protect you from the spiders.
I don't know. I never watched Arachnophobia, but I did watch Eight-Legged Freaks,
mm-hmm.
and like, I know that one's a little bit more of a comedy, but I could stand watching Eight-Legged Freaks, barely. I mean, there is the whole scene where the old guy is like sitting in his recliner, and like one of the giant spiders will, like crawl up like over the chair. That one got me looking behind me wherever I sat down for like a good month or two.
I think a lot of, for me growing up, it wasn't, I guess, censorship, save for if it was really gory or a ton of swearing in it.
Yeah.
Which I understand that. It was more my folks just didn't like me watching movies that they thought were incredibly stupid,
Huh.
or just like if it was just a crappy movie.
Well, I think that's very much like what my parents did as well. Like, there's a lot of shows I know that I wasn't allowed to watch just because my dad didn't want to like watch it
Yeah,
or deal
yep.
with it. I never would say that my parents like censored like what I watched, but like they wanted to raise me right, and just thought certain things just didn't go
Yep.
with what they wanted to teach.
I think my final breakthrough is when we finally had satellite. Everyone was gone. My mom was at work. My dad was at work. My
Yeah.
grandma was doing something. And my absolute all-time favorite movie came on, and I forgot what channel it was, but it was Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh
And I watched through
Oh,
it, and
I
it was
love
like
that movie.
action, martial arts, monsters. Sweet. I love that movie to this day.
I've never seen that movie.
I gotta bring it over, and we gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I have it.
It's one of those movies, it's deliberately hokey, but yet with people realizing that, it's still hated, and it's like $2 at Walmart.
Right.
Right.
And it's like, it's fun.
I don't know. I was like 6, 7, maybe as old as like 10. My parents borrowed from a friend of theirs the box set, supposedly the complete box set of Star Wars. So it was everything but Episode 3 back then. And like they just sat me down there, like, okay, you can watch this, but you have to watch it in order. I was like, okay. So I spent the whole day watching. I watched episode 1, 2, and 4 that whole day, and then I watched the rest of it the next day.
Wondering what happened here.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, like, I think it was like 2 years later, episode 3 came out and they rented it for me. And I was like, oh, I love Star Wars now.
Dang, dude, you old. I remember from Star Wars when
What?
Episode 3 came out, the terrible PS2 video game.
Yeah.
And me and a friend trying to play the multiplayer Jedi duel, me not having a game system at the time, like,
A couple years after that, not a couple years, but like a year or two after that it came out, I finally got a Nintendo DS.
Mhm.
And, like, the first game I got was Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, and like that was amazing. That was
Yes,
cool.
yes, yes, yes.
Did you used to play that?
Yes.
I don't know a kid that really didn't grow up with that. Like that actually had like, really,
I did not have any Lego Star Wars video games.
really.
The only
Wow.
Lego game I had was the Bionicle video game, and that was years later.
I'm kicking myself. I was at a movie store when I was young. And I had just gotten my DS, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had in my hands the Nintendo version of the Bionicle game
Mm-hmm.
for $20, and I could have bought it, but I didn't.
It's a collector's item now.
It is a collector's item. You know, it was bad, but I would have enjoyed the living crap
Yeah.
out of that game.
I honestly, as much I still am, because I hate the remake of it. A huge fan of Bionicle stuff, like the classics.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the video game because I was expecting like a platformer hack and slasher, and it was just like a bunch of mini games basically.
Yeah.
Every little chapter was a mini game, like it had some kind of special thing to it. You had
Yeah.
to do it. It wasn't just, oh yeah, Brown Soa goes and beats up bad guys. Like, to me, a game geared towards little kids was a little overcomplicated.
Yeah.
It was like, it was one of those games like, here's a chain of combos you have to do. I'm like, eh.
That was my one of my favorite games for the Nintendo DS was I think it was called Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
Mhm.
It was the one Spider-Man game where you could transform between the black suit and the regular suit.
Oh, okay.
And like
yep.
what happened is Venom took over the city and like basically made all like these Venom zombie type creatures, and like you had to fight through the city to get to them and stuff, and like you had like the whole like crew of like good guys and bad guys that you could ally with, and like help take down Venom, because like Venom was taking over the city, so like everybody was trying to stop him.
Yeah.
It was like a side platformer, but like the mixture between like, because the black suit and the regular suit had different abilities and you had different combos, so like you could switch between the suits, do different combos and stuff like that, and like it was fun.
Yeah, one game I never got for Game Boy because it was always the most expensive game was Metroid.
I always wanted to get into Metroid, and I never could find the game back then.
It was like back when Game Boy games would be like $5. Metroid would be 20.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, always the most popular games were always way up.
Ungodly expensive for the. I mean, they're still ungodly expensive. When a video game comes out now and it's almost $100.
Right.
All right, so I don't know where we were when we were just talking. Hopefully, it was somewhere where we can edit this to be good.
I
But
think you guys were talking about movies.
Metroid.
we were. Well,
No,
yeah, we're talking about
Metroid being
Metroid.
ungodly
Yeah.
expensive in our childhood.
It still is expensive.
It still is expensive, yes, but back then when you could buy a game for like a couple bucks.
Yeah.
That was seriously expensive.
Just like Pokemon.
Anyways, if people can't tell, I have a sinus infection, and my medicine wore off, so we're gonna end the podcast very soon.
He's dying.
He's dying on me.
Because
no,
apparently-
Sir Boom, do not go
Nope.
into the light.
Note to everybody on the internet: as soon as your chest medicine wears off, where it's supposed to keep coughs away and like loosen up all the phlegm, as soon as it wears off, your body starts shutting down.
He's convulsing now. The wolf, get the stick.
We don't got no stick.
Get the stick.
So yeah,
Can't find one.
we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you had fun just listening to random stuff. And she's got a metal bar. Why do you got a metal
Let me
bar?
see the metal bar.
Why was that in your bag?
No, Boom took it off the table earlier.
Oh, I just seen her like pull it out of a bag. I was like, what the?
Anyways, I have been Sir Boom.
metal
With
bar
me
I
has
can
been Wolf. Hello. And
Here you go,
Robin
Wolf.
Cat.
Yo.
Now I have the bar.
And Kai Kai, which has been our guest host.
Hello.
So yeah, we hope that you liked this episode. If you liked it, give us a like on YouTube and a comment. Just comment something random.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, and give us a subscription. And then you can check out our more formal podcast, which is Look Behind You, where we talk about paranormal stuff. Obviously, you'll see it on the YouTube page as well. But yeah,
Probably yeah, you probably already seen it.
probably.
Probably have.
Why are you here? Go listen to our other stuff.
No, stay here.
And yeah, if you want to follow this podcast, you can also follow it at Behind You Pod on Twitter. You can personally follow me at SirBoom9, and you can follow Ramen Cat at
Ramen Cat 13.
Awesome. And you can't really find Wolf or Kai Kai anywhere, but yeah.
Kai Kai is incognito.
I am on the main Twitter, so if you have a question for me, just send it, and eventually I'll see it.
You know,
Probably pretty fast.
This would be more the thing to ask rather than Baka Talk.
Look
podcast
behind you.
I'm not on.
Yeah.
Look behind you. Where are those Pickle Wolf pictures?
I don't know. They don't send.
A long time ago, I requested Wolf be sent pictures of pickles,
Pickles?
Yeah.
and no one has ever sent us any pickles.
Well, send us
Ooh,
pickles.
food.
Please send us pickles. I don't know. I don't even remember the motive behind it. I just want pickle pictures.
It was
to send to Wolf.
episode 1 and 2.
Okay. There was something about pickles. And
Alright.
I'm just mad there's no pickles yet.
Pickles?
Wow. I think that spiked the mic.
I love pickles.
Sorry, headphone users, which are us.
All right. So we'll see you all later, and have a good day, a good night, and a good morning.
Catch you on the other side of the podcast.
Have a good prenumbra.